Tonight, petty crime turns serious.
Get off our property, and the response was stay inside or you could get shot.
Which Winnipeg neighborhood has residents speaking out about a sharp rise in thefts and now threats? Also tonight,
wildfires are very dangerous for not only the residents but firefighters.
How grass fires are already affecting communities in southern Manitoba in spite of the cool conditions. Plus, shifting blame. Why Telus says it shouldn't be held responsible for a man's death during a 911 outage last year.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Frightening accounts tonight from people living in River Park South and St. Vital over repeated break-ins in the neighborhood. The incidents have picked up so much since late February. Homeowners are now beefing up security measures and looking out for their neighbors. With more, CTV's Joseph Bernacki joins us live. Joseph, you visited the area today. What did you hear from homeowners there?
Marilee, the people I spoke with are scared. A resident I spoke with who lives just south of Dakota Community Center says he's never seen crime this active in his 17 years of living in the same house. On April 15th, his family was robbed late at night as thieves hopped over their backyard fence, trying to take as much as they could in the back of a pickup truck. When a family member confronted the individuals, they were threatened that they would be shot.
The response was stay inside or you could get shot. It's frightening, very frightening.
River Park South resident Travis Friesen says his family is still shaken up. In overnight hours of Wednesday, April 15th, thieves hopped over his fence on Tufnell Drive looking to take what they could.
My wife came to the back door, saw three silhouetted figures in the field behind our residence, loading materials, a patio table onto a truck they had backed up.
Friesen says it was at this point the men threatened his wife, saying the couple would be shot if they interfered. He says the thieves parked a truck on this green space in between his backyard and Dakota Community Center and tried to break into their shed. Fire pit chairs and patio furniture were taken before police arrived on scene.
The sense of security is absolutely not what it was 5 years ago.
And he's not the only area resident feeling this way. Jeff Nespiak owns Southside Cycle Works, fixing bicycles in his back lane off of nearby Burland Avenue. He says his back lane has been the repeated target for break-ins since mid-February. After hearing from neighbors on both sides of his house that they were robbed, he's worried he could be next.
3 doors down, they got into his garage, ransacked his vehicle, took the overhead door opener, and then attempted to come back a couple of days later.
Nespiak believes it's the same individuals targeting his neighbors, casing the lane in all hours of the night. His security camera video from February 28th shows someone hopping the neighbor's fence at 4 a.m., the same time Nespiak says his neighbor reported the robbery. A week later, a similar-looking individual wearing the same colored yellow gloves appears to be snooping again just after 3 a.m.
Their sense of security is gone. They're fearful. It's clearly the same individuals coming back. This has been going on for 2 months now.
We reached out to the Winnipeg Police Service. They wouldn't confirm any investigation to protect homeowner privacy. City Councillor Marcus Chambers, who represents River Park South, says he's heard from several constituents on Burland Avenue who say they've been hit with garage and car break-ins. In a statement to CTV News, Chambers says residents feel vulnerable, and he has notified the WS Community Services Unit to advocate for increased safety and patrols in the neighborhood. Chambers says the police service is advising residents to continue to call in any instance so they can track these crime metrics and allocate resources more effectively.
All right, Joseph, back to police then. Are they saying anything else about this?
They had a little bit more data for us, Marilee. Yes, a spokesperson from WS says looking at the general crime map, property crime has increased by 14% in St. Vital over the last 12 months and 40.1% in the last 5 years. But in River Park South, property crime is down 11.1% in the last year.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. A man is facing several charges tonight after police say he threatened and sexually assaulted healthcare workers at a Winnipeg hospital Friday. A spokesperson for the Manitoba Nurses Union confirmed to CTV News the location was Grace Hospital, and at least one of the workers was a nurse. According to police, a 59-year-old man seeking treatment at the hospital acted aggressively and made sexually inappropriate comments to staff. He was restrained by hospital security because of the behavior. During his treatment, 2 healthcare workers were allegedly sexually assaulted. One of those workers had her clothing ripped after she says the man tried to bite her. A third worker claims to have been verbally threatened. The man was arrested around 2 o'clock Friday morning and released on an undertaking. In a statement, Manitoba Health Minister Usoma Asagara said, in part, this type of harm is unacceptable and has no place anywhere. The minister is reaching out to the workers and recognizes how upsetting the incident is across the system. Meantime, Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson says the system is failing not just patients, but the people who it employs, adding, quote, maybe the grace should be next in reference to gray listing of hospitals across the province. As of Monday, 3 hospitals across Manitoba are gray listed by the union due to the ongoing unsafe and inappropriate working conditions. Several people, including 2 teenage girls, are recovering from serious injuries after a head-on collision in southern Manitoba. RCMP say it happened Friday around 9:30 on Highway 3 just south of Sanford. Investigators say a northbound vehicle was spotted swerving on the highway before crashing directly into a vehicle headed in the opposite direction. The driver, a 25-year-old man from St. Adolphe, and the 19-year-old man in the passenger seat remain in critical condition at hospital. The 52-year-old man driving the other vehicle received minor injuries. However, his 2 14-year-old daughters remain in hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. RCMP, along with a forensic collision reconstructionist, are still trying to piece together what happened. Well, don't be fooled by the frigid spring weather outside. Grass and brush fires are already popping up. A large one in Brandon recently took crews 9 hours to tackle. This, as another hot, dry summer could be right around the corner. And as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, at least one community has already put a burn ban in place.
Despite the colder spring weather, grass fire season has started in Manitoba. Last Friday, Winnipeg fire crews had to put out one just south of Winnipeg.
Even though the ground is wet in some spots still, there's still the potential for grass fires.
A week ago, a grass and brush fire broke out at the Transcona Bioreserve, which was 4,000 square meters in size, and just days before that, one near Lagimodiere and Dugald. The Winnipeg Fire Paramedic Service says this is par for the course in May as they prepare for another dry summer.
It'll be one of the hottest on record from what I understand. They are expecting more rain this year too. But it all depends how the rain is. If we have hot weather, you get a small rain day, it could be dried up pretty quickly.
The fires are springing up outside the perimeter too. Late last month, a grass fire tore through this property near Tyndall.
Pretty scary, especially when it got so close to my property, my house.
On Friday, Brandon fire crews, with the help of other departments, spent 9 hours battling a large grass fire south of the city.
There's several miles in area, but it did risk 4 to 5 properties. I'm very happy to say that the team did an amazing job and we didn't lose any properties.
And at least one municipality has already put restrictions in place. A burn ban is in effect in the RM of Piney. Only recreational fires in approved pits are permitted. The WFPS says there are other measures you can take to prevent grass and brush fires, like properly disposing cigarette butts and keeping leaves and firewood away from your house.
An ember can travel a distance, catch that on fire, and now your structure's on fire. Even gutters, a lot of people leave the leaves in their gutters. If an ember travels, has a potential to ignite the leaves.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
This is National Emergency Preparedness Week, and the Manitoba government is taking the opportunity to announce its emergency information app is now available. It's called MB Ready, and it looks just like this. You can see both a map and a list of alerts, incidents, road closures, power outages, and environmental hazards such as fires and floods. It also provides practical information such as how to build an emergency kit or a household emergency plan. The mobile app is available in both languages. Just search MB Ready. Today is May the 4th, the unofficial holiday recognized by Star Wars fans the world over. And for those who are not familiar, it's a bit of a play on the phrase, may the Force be with you. made popular, of course, by the epic sci-fi fantasy series. And someone who is very familiar with what that means is our very own John Hendricks. John is at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada tonight, and he is everything Star Wars, it looks like. Is that Yoda? Should I ask you some questions?
You can call me Yoda. You could also call me John Solo. There's all sorts of things you can call me. Hopefully, most of them are nice. I am here at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada, and as you can see, you do not have to travel to a galaxy far, far away to enjoy Star Wars. You can come right here. We have both Jedi, doing some Yoda business myself, and also we have the Empire with the 501st Legion. They're doing a whole bunch of demonstrations, all Star Wars related. People will be learning how to wield a lightsaber. Of course, I feel the Force strongly, so I already know, but everyone else here, they're going to be learning how to handle this lightsaber. They're also going to be chatting with the gentlemen and ladies from the Empire. A lot of fun going on here. There's also like a real world component, learning how science fiction can lead to real world engineering and science. But really, this is what it's all about. It's about enjoying Star Wars and taking part in an awful lot of fun. So I am going to go and pick a fight with a few Sith. There's been a few walking around here that I think I have their number. So Marilee, I am going to send it back to you, and I'm going to be making the parsec, hey, what do you think? The Kessel Run? We can do that? We're going to do the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs.
I love it. John Solo, I cannot wait to check back in with you in a little bit. For now, Colleen Brady, I got a few words for you, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
The Force is not with us this spring.
Bring it.
This spring is not springing. I don't know.
Listen, may the 4th or the Force be with all of us. It is snowing once again in southern Manitoba after that warm weekend we had. The snow has returned. Not just snow, as you can see on the radar. We've also have some showers popping up, all in this very unsettled weather pattern, riding along these very strong and gusty northwest winds. And it's not going to warm up tomorrow either. I will show you when it will warm up once again coming up. But for now, let's take a look through the CTV Live Eye. It's brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yeah, in Winnipeg right now, it is snowing, and it's 2 degrees, and winds are coming from the north-northwest at 32 kilometers an hour with gusts up to 42, and that's eased up a little. The pressure's rising, and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 59%.
Thanks, Colleen. Telecom company Telus, which is facing a lawsuit over a man's death during a 911 outage, is now alleging the man caused or contributed to his own death and wants the case thrown out. Dean Switzer was 55 years old when he died of a heart attack at his home in Fisher Branch back in March of last year. Dean's brother, Greg, filed the lawsuit stating Dean's wife and neighbors called 911 about 20 times during the emergency, and none of those calls went through. The suit says Telus had a responsibility to ensure uninterrupted access to 911 and says Dean would have gotten timely care and survived if the service was operational. However, in a statement of defense filed last Tuesday, Telus denied its responsibility for the access, adding, quote, Dean's death was caused or contributed to by Dean's own negligence or contributory negligence. The company pointed to Dean's alleged service agreement, which it says states service may fail or be interrupted, and it doesn't guarantee service availability. It adds he, quote, would not have survived in any event. We have much more details about this lawsuit up on our website. Just go to ctvnewswinnipeg.ca to read up on it. The Ontario Court of Appeal is set to hear Peter Nygard's appeal of his sexual assault convictions and prison sentence. In 2023, the disgraced fashion mogul was convicted of 4 counts of sexual assault and sentenced to 11 years in prison. Multiple women came forward with allegations dating back to the 80s. Lawyers for the 84-year-old say the trial judge made errors, including admitting the testimony of an expert on trauma. Growing strain with dwindling support. Manitoba teachers are sounding the alarm tonight over the increasing pressures they're facing in the classroom.
Unless we keep addressing the chronic underfunding that we're seeing in our schools, the complex needs are only going to go up.
Nearly 3,400 Manitoba Teacher Society members responded to a probe research poll between January 22nd and February 17th. 81% say class size complexity and lack of supports are their primary concerns. The Manitoba Teachers Union says an erosion of support services has forced teachers to take on roles once covered by a team, and it's taking a toll on learning environments.
Teachers used to be able to address the needs of students who had less complex needs, who just needed the little extra bit of help. And we're finding now that these students who can't get that help because teachers are addressing the most complex of needs.
Nearly half of respondents reported having more than 6 students with complex needs in their classroom, up from 23% in 2024. MTS is seeking additional funding to address concerns, smaller class sizes, and more EA supports. Additional funding will be released leading up to the Manitoba Teacher Society annual general meeting on May 21st.
It's under our government that since we've been elected, every single year, every single school division has received an increase. So it's going to take a while for us to dig out of the hole that the Tories left us with in education. Same thing on healthcare. But we're making incredible progress already, and I'm really excited about the year ahead.
The survey has a margin of error of plus or minus 1.54 percentage points 19 times out of 20. Still to come tonight, the federal government announces new funding to help sectors hurt by U.S. tariffs.
Short term, our goal is to provide liquidities to companies in order for them to keep their workers.
The industry is set to share a bit of that money, and who's criticizing the plan? Stay with us. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added $4.48. The loonie slipped to 73.47 cents U.S. Gold futures lost $111. The TSX dropped 252 points. The Dow Jones plunged 557 points, while the Nasdaq slipped 46 points. A Quebec man accused in a scam targeting seniors is facing additional charges tonight after more Manitoba victims came forward. Winnipeg police say the 24-year-old man currently in custody was rearrested in mid-April. He was previously charged in March in connection to reported fraud. Since police announced those charges, 6 more people came forward with similar reports, 4 in Winnipeg and 2 in Portage la Prairie. In every case, seniors would receive a phone call from someone posing as a young relative who needed emergency bail money. They later provided cash or jewelry to a stranger who showed up at their house. Investigators pegged the losses at around $31,000. If you receive a similar call, you're encouraged to hang up, verify with a family or authorities that the call is fake, and then file a police report. A Dauphin man is facing several charges tonight, even though it appears he took great pains to avoid being found. RCMP were sent to a home in the community Sunday to arrest a man wanted on theft-related charges. There, they found a different man who claimed he was home alone. However, officers found a hidden room behind a bookcase where they found several weapons as well as a trap door which led into a second hidden room. And inside there was the man they were looking for. He is now in custody, charged with possession of property obtained by crime, resisting arrest, and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. The man who answered the door is also now charged with obstructing police. Help is on the way for steel and aluminum producers. A $1 billion loan program is being offered to businesses hurt by Donald Trump's tariffs. The U.S. president last week also extended the tax to even more products. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on how this loan will work and who it will benefit.
For 14 months, steel, aluminum, and copper companies have been trying not to fold under the pressure of punishing tariffs from the U.S. It's been tough for companies like Bow-Rock, which makes dump bodies for dump trucks.
90% of what we manufacture crosses the border. So for us, what's happening is really critical to our business.
And many are hoping for an end to the trade war, but even senior cabinet ministers can't say if or when that will be.
You don't know, I don't know. So this is not up to us to answer that question because these decisions will be taken south of our border.
It's why the federal government is announcing a new $1 billion loan program for companies affected by the tariffs. The 3-year loans will be worth between $2 and $50 million, with the first year being interest-free.
Short term, our goal is to provide liquidities to companies in order for them to keep their workers.
Conservatives say loans aren't the answer.
We were reading this announcement today very concerned that there is no deal coming at all, and the Liberals have said nothing to the contrary.
Canada's Auditor General hasn't seen details of this loan program, but in 2024, Karen Hogan's report was critical of pandemic-era business loans, saying those programs lacked value for money. And she hopes that mistake isn't repeated.
So I would expect that any loan program would have a goal and an objective, and that the government would set itself out at the beginning, at the start, as they design this, to have a way to measure value for money and outcomes for Canadians.
The government says there will be a process and scope for approving the loans with additional follow-up. Minister Joly added the government is working on similar relief for the forestry and softwood lumber sectors. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's finance minister highlighted investments and initiatives from the spring economic update as he visited Winnipeg today.
You're on the front line. Our job is to make sure you get what you need when you need it, and that we can serve our nation and defend our country.
Francois-Philippe Champagne met with members of the Canadian Armed Forces during a stop at 17 Wing this morning. There he spoke about the Defence Industrial Strategy launched in February and the prioritizing of Canadian suppliers and materials in procurement contracts. He also highlighted Team Canada Strong, a multi-billion-dollar investment to recruit, train, and hire 80 to 100,000 Red Seal workers to help build and maintain the equipment.
But in order to do that, we need men and women in uniform. But we also need the Red Seals to build the stuff. You know, the neighbors, the colleagues, you know, that want to get into the trade. It's your airplane.
Champagne also participated in a discussion today with Manitoba's business community, hosted by the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce. 3 passengers have died due to a suspected outbreak of the deadly Hantavirus on board a cruise ship sailing in the South Atlantic.
As of the 4th of May, there have been 6 suspected cases reported. 3 cases have unfortunately died. 1 patient is currently ill in ICU in South Africa, while 2 patients remain on board and will be evacuated for medical treatment. About 150 people, including passengers and crew, are on the ship.
That's the Director for Epidemic and Pandemic Preparedness at the World Health Organization, providing an update on the situation this afternoon. The vessel departed Argentina 3 weeks ago, bound for Cape Verde, and it's now anchored in the Atlantic Ocean in that region. However, it's not being allowed to offload passengers because of the virus. The operator of the ship says there are 4 Canadians among the passengers on board. Hantavirus is carried by rodents and can cause a fatal respiratory illness. A little bit later, I'm going to speak with one of Canada's foremost experts on this virus who can help us explain exactly what it is, the signs of infection, and just how unusual an outbreak like this is on board a cruise ship. That's all coming up a little later in the broadcast.
I'm sensing a great disturbance in the force. Join me, and together we will rule the galaxy. Coming up next on CTV News.
Ladies and gentlemen, CTV's John Solo for you there. Well, the long-range forecast, we might need some help from John Solo to warm things up again. 7 degrees on Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Then we start to at least get things going again on Thursday. Still below normal at 12, but hey, it's double digits, and the sun will be shining up to 14 on Friday under a mix of sun and cloud. Mix of sun and cloud takes us through the weekend. 12 is our high Saturday, up to 13 by Sunday.
May the 4th is Star Wars Day, and fans of the sci-fi fantasy series are gathering at the Royal Aviation Museum of Western Canada tonight for a whole evening of Star Wars-themed activities, and that is where we find CTV's John Solo, only for tonight. John, it's clear the Force is definitely with you. How are your lightsaber skills?
You know what? They're having a lot of fun with the lightsabers behind me. I'm having a lot of fun with my lightsaber. As you can see, I have sadly turned to the dark side of the Force, but I am hopeful that by the end of this, I will be pulled back somehow to the light. And actually joining me now is a light side Jedi, Adam. He is a major Star Wars fan. Adam, tell me a little bit about your fandom. Why do you love Star Wars so much?
Well, ever since kindergarten, you know, I saw a C-3PO toy. I'm like, that gold guy, who is that? You know, I came home and I watched the original trilogy as a kid, and I've been a huge fan. All the way, Phantom Menace to, we got The Mandalorian and Grogu coming to theaters this month. Very excited about that.
And obviously, it's more than just simply watching the TV shows, going to see the movies. I mean, you have a little bit more. You've got the costume. Tell me a little bit about how you put it all together.
Yes, I'm a bit of a lightsaber enthusiast. I've been collecting them for years. I bought my first lightsaber in like 2011, and I told my girlfriend, Allie, talk me out of it. And she's like, do you guys do like payment plans? And she bought one too. So I've got 15 lightsabers at this point.
15?
Yeah. This one's my favorite though. The classic Obi-Wan. Yeah.
And also you got a little bit of a costume as well, right? You know, the Jedi robes.
Yeah. Big Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan fan. And I have a Jedi costume.
All right, Adam, thank you so much for your time. Marilee, this is what this evening is all about. Adam isn't the only one who is here dressed up. There are many of them. And, of course, when you see people on screen, they're doing all of these amazing moves with the lightsabers. Well, there is a local group here, the River City Jedi, where they actually teach people how to use the lightsabers and how to basically do fencing. It's pretty amazing to see. It's really a martial art that you see on the screen. It looks made up, but in fact, it is based on a real martial art. You learn it right here tonight, and people are having an awful lot of fun. So I am going to head back. I've got the Millennium Falcon that is waiting for me. It's going to be taking me back to the station. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do the Kessel Run as well, get that taken care of, and then so I'll send it right back to you.
What a busy night for CTV's John Solo tonight. Thank you so much, John. Well, if you went to Assiniboine Park Sunday, you might have seen some police tape and cruisers, but relax, it wasn't for a crime scene. It was all part of a cancer research fundraiser. Thousands of people gathered at the park for the 2026 Winnipeg Police Service Half Marathon and two-person relay. Actually, about 1,400 people ran that half marathon. 850 completed the 5-kilometer race, while 400 took part in the relay. This year marked the event's 22nd year of supporting Canadian Cancer Society's research projects and clinical trials.
We actually dedicate resources, specific funding for specific researchers, so that way we can sort of report back to our participants who raise the money, and they can actually see where the funds are going and have a connection to their fundraising efforts.
Volunteer race director Nick Paulette says about $3.3 million has been raised as of Sunday morning, possibly adding around another 100,000 more from Sunday's run.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
And we have to give a big nod to our CTV representative at the half marathon. Colleen Brady, how about you've taken part in this several years, right?
Several years. I have to say, I did the 5K yesterday. I did do the full half marathon way back in 2009. But a 5K race.
That's enough.
Is more my speed and more my length of running that I would prefer. But you know what? Yeah, I've done the 5K now a few years in a row. It was a beautiful day yesterday. The sun was shining, the winds were light, and the temperatures were warm. It's a good thing it was yesterday, because I'm not sure if I could have shown my face there today. Wow. But yeah, hats off to Nick Paulette and his crew. They always put on such a good job, and those volunteers too. Boy, do they ever make sure that all those runners are taken care of very well. And all those runners out there, man, some of them can fly, but whether you flew or not, I was a little on the slower side. Just hats off to everybody who took on that course. What an achievement for everyone. Not much of an achievement today weather-wise, though. Yeah, like I said, good thing the race was yesterday, because today yesterday, it would have been entirely different out there on the course. The winds very strong out of the northwest in this unsettled weather pattern that's now replaced yesterday's sunshine. We've got light snow falling. We have some rain falling. Same thing in northwestern Ontario. Actually, a big part of the reason this is all happening is courtesy of a low pressure system that is sitting over northwestern Ontario, or at least it was earlier today, starting to slowly move off, but nonetheless leaving the snow and the rain behind, not just on the Ontario side of the border, but back in Manitoba as well. Also those very strong north winds. So here's a look at the temperatures. Just 2 right now in Kenora. Back here in Winnipeg and Steinbach, 2 degrees, a little warmer as you move further west through Portage, 4. It's 5 now in Brandon. And in the north, a little cool for this time of year too. -2 right now in Thompson, -4 over in Lynn Lake. So all across the north tonight, or most areas, there will be a little bit of light snow. The highest accumulations will be in the order of, say, 2 centimeters. And that's for areas furthest north, like to Dooley Lake over into Churchill. Meanwhile, down here in the south, don't be surprised if a few more flurries fly. Otherwise, the skies for the most part should be partly cloudy. The winds will back off for a few hours into the overnight, but they strengthen again tomorrow back out of the northwest across southern Manitoba. They just won't be quite as intense as they were today, but nonetheless, tomorrow will be almost a carbon copy of today. Cloudy, strong, gusty northwest winds and temperatures stuck in the single digits. Meanwhile, you can see a little bit of light snow will continue to pepper parts of northern Manitoba. That starts to break down as we get into later Tuesday night, and overnight we go into Wednesday, where you see almost like a curtain being pulled back, those clouds. The sun starts to shine again on western sections of the province, and hopefully we'll get some of that sunshine into Winnipeg and the Red River Valley a little later on into the afternoon. For tonight, we drop down to -3 degrees with this light snow falling for now, partly cloudy overnight, windy for a few hours. They ease up for a bit. Windy again tomorrow, mostly cloudy, -1 for the commute, up to a high of just 4 when we should be hitting 16 degrees. Light snow tonight across the north, as I mentioned. Island Lake will actually see temperatures rise overnight to -2. Thompson down to -6. 0 there tomorrow with light snow continuing, as it will across the northeast. Snow tonight for Lynn Lake and Norway House. Flin Flon and the Paw, a lesser chance. Cloudy there, -6, -4 respectively. Still cloudy in those areas tomorrow. Still light snow falling in Lynn Lake and Norway House. In the southwest tonight, cloudy overnight. Brandon down to -5. Dauphin -3. Clouds stick around tomorrow. Highs of +3 and +5. Winnipeg and the southeast, we've got the rain falling in some areas, snow falling in Winnipeg. That will end fairly early this evening. Clouds stick around tomorrow. So do the cool temperatures, 4 or 5 degrees for most of us. And in northwestern Ontario, showers and flurries tonight. There is a chance you'll see more of the same tomorrow. Otherwise, it will be cloudy with highs between 2 and 3 degrees. Now, look how stunning this photo is. Hans took this photo. This was from this weekend's full moon, known as the flower moon, near Greenland, Manitoba. That's north of Steinbach and Blumenort. Now, this next photo might look like the surface of the moon. It's actually Lake Winnipeg. All those winds piling up the ice out there. What a wild shot. That photo is from Patrick, and you can send us your photos by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. The Winnipeg Jets 2026 nominee for the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy is now a finalist. Jonathan Toews is one of 3 NHL players up for the award. It's presented to the NHL player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. Toews returned to professional hockey this season after stepping away to deal with health issues. He's up against Buffalo Sabres defenseman Rasmus Dahlin and Gabriel Landeskog of the Colorado Avalanche. The winner will be revealed at the NHL Awards. Hundreds of students from across Manitoba gathered together in song today to celebrate music education. Called Music Monday, student musicians took part in a masked band and choir performance of an original piece of music at the legislature. Performers of all experience levels took part, but the goal wasn't just harmonizing, it was also intended to raise money for Cancer Care Manitoba.
So the piece is called Wave of Light. It's about 5 minutes long, and it hopefully encaptures a little bit of everything that we all experience with cancer, whether it's celebrating the success of a treatment, commemorating a loved one, and all the kind of different things that we go through with cancer.
Students from 13 different schools participated in the event, and there will be more performances of the piece across the province throughout the month. A promising new drug to slow the progression of dementia has just been approved for use in Canada. We'll tell you how it works next in Medical Watch. Back to the cruise ship outbreak that has left 3 people dead and several others seriously sick. Tonight, questions are swirling about Hantavirus and how it spread. Join me now to help answer some of those questions is Dr. David Safronitz, Canada's foremost expert on the virus, who also is a professor at the University of Manitoba's Max Rady College of Medicine. David, good to speak with you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
This virus, I understand, is very rare. So just how unusual and concerning is this cruise ship outbreak?
Yeah, I mean, cases in general of hantavirus across North and South America are rare. It is important to note that clusters of cases, like we're seeing here on the cruise ship, they are relatively common, though, in areas, particularly in South America. We have had clusters of cases, for example, in Canada as well. So they do happen. We're looking at probably in the neighborhood of, maybe up to 5 to 10 cases in Canada and maybe hundreds of cases across all of South America. So relatively rare compared to other infectious diseases, but it is concerning based on the confined space on a cruise ship.
How is hantavirus typically spread, and how do you think it might have impacted these cruise ship passengers? How do you think they were exposed?
Good question, and I think it's one that public health officials are going to be looking into a lot in the next day or two. Typically, hantaviruses are transmitted directly from rodents to humans, so people either have a direct contact with a rodent or indirect contact through contaminated materials that rodents have urinated or defecated on. Then they somehow aerosolize that material and breathe it in directly, which leads to the disease. The situation on the cruise ship is potentially directly from rodents, although it's unclear if all the cases have had direct contact with rodents or if it's possible in this case that it's caused by one of the species of hantaviruses that are known to have human-to-human transmission. So it's conceived situation that one or perhaps 2 individuals out of the ship already infected from other excursions in South America. They felt perhaps fine at the onset of the cruise and then developed symptoms and eventually full-blown hantavirus pulmonary syndrome while on the cruise. And that may have allowed the virus to transmit directly from them to others aboard the ship itself.
Interesting. All right. As you mentioned, we have heard about this before. It isn't the first time, even as of late, this virus has made headlines. Last year, we heard about it being the cause for actor Gene Hackman's wife's death. What is our risk level to this virus here in Canada?
Yeah, I mean, the last probably major attention that hantavirus has got, as you indicated, was Gene Hackman's wife. In Canada, the risk is relatively low. We know there are infected mice running all over Canada, particularly the prairie regions. That's where we see most of the human cases. Of particular concern is this time of the year when people are reopening outlying buildings, perhaps cottages and cabins or sheds that have gone uninhabited all winter. So mice like to get in there, and they overwinter in those areas themselves, and in doing so create quite a bit of a mess. Humans end up going into those areas, cleaning them up, and somehow inadvertently aerosolizing the materials and becoming infected themselves. So it's a slightly larger risk at this point, but with the proper precautions, the risk remains relatively low for Canadians and, in fact, North Americans all over the place.
Speaking of precautions, then what can we do to avoid it?
Yeah, I mean, it's important while we're reopening these outlying facilities to open them up, let them air out as best as you can, open windows, open doors, let the air change a few times before entering the areas. If you do notice signs of rodent infestation, and even if you don't notice them, just because you don't see rodents doesn't mean they're not there. Protecting yourselves, basic ideas like a mask, not so different than what we got used to during the COVID pandemic. Cleaning up materials with soap or mild bleach detergents before sweeping the areas, and making sure that you're not aerosolizing and then breathing in the material. That's essential to preventing hantavirus disease and contracting it as someone taking care of the cleaning in these areas.
What are the signs you may have been infected, and how is this virus treated?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's one of the biggest problems right now with hantaviral diseases. The incubation period can be quite long, meaning you may have been exposed up to 2 or even 3 weeks ago before you even show mild symptoms that suggest you're infected. Those symptoms can include really relatively nondescript things like a fever, just general fatigue. You might confuse it with a cold or even a seasonal respiratory illness. It's when the severe respiratory distress occurs. That's when you have to pay particular attention and really seek medical attention. You need to be in a facility that if it progresses to the point where you need mechanical ventilation, you have those options available to you. Unfortunately, at this time, there are no specific treatments or vaccines to treat and prevent hantaviral infections and disease in humans. So treatment is really supportive care. It's the standard at the moment.
Well, David, I want to thank you for your time and information tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Great. Thank you very much.
A drug which may slow progression of dementia in some patients has just been approved for use in Canada. The drug is called donanemab, and its aim is to help the body remove the buildup of a protein in the brain, clumps of which may lead to cognitive and memory problems. The company says monthly treatment is now available for some Canadians with early symptomatic Alzheimer's disease. The Alzheimer's Society previously said this drug showed promise for slowing the progression of dementia in certain people, but stressed it is not a cure. Today is Melanoma Monday. It's the most serious and deadly type of skin cancer, and unless it's caught early, it can spread to other organs and make the cancer harder to treat.
We would recommend that people do self-checks on their skin.
Experts say you should watch out for spots or moles like these. They're pictures of actual melanomas from the Skin Cancer Foundation. You'll also want to remember the ABCDEs of this skin cancer. A is for asymmetry, where one half of the spot is unlike the other. B is for border. Look for edges that are irregular or poorly defined. C is for color. You want to watch for spots with varying colors. D is for diameter. Melanomas are usually about the size of a pencil eraser, but can also be smaller. And finally, E is for evolving. Look to see if a spot looks different from others or is changing in size, shape, or color.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Las Vegas headliner Terry Fader.
Winnipeg rockers The Watchmen are preparing for a show in front of their hometown crowd. The band is scheduled to hit the stage over at Club Region Event Center October 2nd. They'll be joined by fellow Winnipeg rockers The Rippers. Tickets go on sale Thursday through Ticketmaster. Well, you might remember him as one of the finalists from America's Got Talent, but he's since built a global following and is returning to the stage here in Winnipeg.
I'm not gonna trash my ex. You ever meet that dude? I don't know what it is. Every girl I meet crazy. You're the reason that they're crazy.
Preacher Lawson is scheduled to take the stage for a series of shows at Rumors this fall. Lawson brings a blend of observational humor and personal storytelling, often referencing his early life growing up in a military family. The shows take place between October 15th and 17th. You can find tickets on Rumors website. Your primetime lineup for Monday night starts with The Big Bang Theory and Hockey Fanatics at 7. The Quiz with Balls comes next at 8. And The Rookie wraps it all up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, the highest temperature today was 8 degrees, but that was overnight. To the lowest, we should be hitting 17 by now. We certainly did yesterday. We got up into the low 20s, around 21, I believe. Once the snow starts this evening, partly cloudy tonight, dropping down to -3. Cloudy and windy again tomorrow. 4 for Tuesday, 7 on Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud. 12 and sunny Thursday, up to 14 merrily on Friday, and then the weekend mix of sun and cloud. 12, 13 degrees Saturday, Sunday.
Thanks, Colleen. Did you get any new ink this weekend? Tons of people went under the gun at the convention center during the Winnipeg Tattoo Show. CTV photojournalist Gary Robson was there.
I think because I have such a style that is easily recognizable, they kind of know what they're going to get. Like, I have a very set style of tattooing that I work with, so what they see is what they get. They know when they're coming to me, so luckily I don't have any left field tattoos that people want.
Someone who aligns with what you're kind of wanting, so more fine line, or someone who does more darker pieces, color, stuff like that, I feel like is the most important part.
This I quoted 7 to 9 hours. There's lots of detail in this, especially in a snake. There's a bajillion scales, so it'll be a while. Lots of detail and fine lines.
The art, it's beautiful. I love decorations and flowers and art, and it's a piece of the artist as well that you're carrying around with you, which is pretty cool. It's an investment, yes, in yourself, your skin, your body, yeah. It's an investment for sure.
And I'm friendly. I don't mind if they come and talk and have questions. I come to the Winnipeg Tattoo Convention every year because it's my favorite. It's really good family kind of vibe here. Abby, the host, is incredible, and she really cares about us all. And I think that this show should be the standard for all the shows.
Lots of people walking around with some new artwork today, I would imagine.
Yeah,
some new
beautiful
ink,
work, yeah.
All right, that does it for us tonight. Have a great evening. See you back here tomorrow.